Okay, so let's get one thing straight before you see the rest of this video. This is a Texas flag. This means I was born in Texas. Does not mean I live in Texas. This is a Minnesota flag. This is only because I live in Minnesota. Does not mean I was from Minnesota. This is the Tennessee flag. It does not mean I'm from, born, or live in Tennessee. I have this because I graduated in Tennessee. These are pirate flags. Sorry for the fuck up there. I'm not going to edit it out because I'm lazy. But, pirate flags. This does not mean I condone being a fucking pirate. In fact, this one will be retired soon because it's got a rip. This one's supposed to have, ripped designs, but this is getting worn. But owning these flags does not make me a bloody fucking pirate. Oh, and by the way, if you get offended by the rest of this video and you're not offended by these, shut the fuck up, you massive fucking hypocrite. Well, that's enough of wasting your time. It's probably a minute you're probably never going to get back. Next. So if any of you remember, last year I made a video of my Confederate Collection, and I recently made a video about it, but I only I just put a bunch of pictures into a video and put a song over it. So I thought I'd show you individually how it's grown. It's grown quite a bit. I even have a painting, which I will show you later. But yeah, I can't even fix. I even have more than one box to hold all this shit. Before I had one box, it would have all fit in. It was that Sega box that you all saw and remember, or if this is new, I will link it so you can see how much bigger it's been gotten since then. Here are all my flags. I will actually unfold these and have you see them all on full display, and maybe tell you a little bit about them. This is a shirt that I have outgrown. It barely even fit me when I got it. Nice little costume cap that barely fits me, but I wear it sometimes. This is a uniform I got offline, and I'm not even sure if you can still get it. But that's what the full thing is supposed to look like, minus the gloves and gun and the shoes. All you get is the jacket and the pants, which I won't show you the pants, but buttons have some detail, which the only thing that really bothers me about them is it looks like it's more of a Union seal, which I'm confused about. It's supposed to be a Confederate uniform. It shouldn't have the Union seal on its buttons. It'd be like if the Nazis had the fucking Jewish star on their uniforms. And before someone in the comments will eventually do, even if they hear it in the video, I'm not a racist. I believe everyone is, or I shouldn't say is, because they aren't, but everyone should be equal. And before anyone mentions it, yes, I'm a straight, white, cis male, so everything I just said is invalid, and I am in fact a racist. Although, let's be honest, just the color of my skin would warrant me being a racist nowadays. But I thought I'd show you things individually, talk about them a little bit, and pretty much something better than just a little music video I've thrown together. I'll start with this small thing here. Give you a second to read that, or pause it if you want, but I got this, luckily, when my sister was dating this fucking douchebag. It was a magnet and was on their fridge. It was an excellent addition to my collection, and I'm glad I have it, even though I'm not religious in the slightest. Couple videotape movies, Civil War with Lee on it, And this one's called 1863 Simply Murder. And this one is the Civil War, the Story, and the Artillery. This one is Gettysburg. It's actually a really well made film. I highly recommend it. As you can see, it has both Confederate and Union people on it. So it's not completely biased, although it's mostly it's told from both sides. And then you have its prequel, Gods and Generals. It's not as great as a film as Gettysburg is, but for what it is, I like it. It could be a little shorter, but still, it's good to marathon and watch them both back to back. And then I have a PC game. This is really fucking old, too. As you can see, those graphics are fucking stellar. I think I've played this game once, but it would barely run on even on my fucking computer. Then I have another Civil War game for PlayStation 2. A great system, by the way. Its only drawback is that right there. Activision. Not a great company. The game does not run great, but it does have you fight both sides of the war. Basically, you pick, once you pick a battle, it's a battle that side is won. So if a battle was won by the Confederates, you play as a Confederate, and if a battle was won by the Union, you play as a U.S. soldier. Now, I'll have to show you guys this, or these things later, because it's part of a bigger thing. Now, I unfortunately do not have the first two books of this, which is why I haven't actually cracked this book open yet. As you can see, it's book 3 of this series, so I have not actually read it yet, but I will once I find and read book 1 and 2. This one is a simple brothers fighting each other story. Pretty good. It's a little damaged. I got it at a secondhand store. You can see the age on it. Has not aged well. Another book here, Civil War Ghosts and Legends. This is pretty much an anthology book. Pretty good, though. This is a fucking gigantic book. I have not gotten into this one yet. I mostly got it, I'll be honest, because of the artwork. I really like the artwork on this book. And also another reason, it's a volume 2. It is a sequel, and I need the first one. I'm one of those people, I can't get into a sequel until I've seen the first. No matter how bad I want to get into it. One thing I keep glossing over here is this sword. It is not a actual sword, although it is heavy. This is with real metal. Although, as you can see, it's painted. It's not real gold. And it didn't originally have this. This is actually my tassel for when I graduated high school. But I thought, 2013 has a little 13 on it. It made sense to me to put it on there. The original one I had on there, just like the flag earlier, was ruined by my sister's cats. But yeah, it was like kind of, I don't want to say fate, because I'm not a big believer in fate, but 2013, 13 stars in the Confederate flag. So I thought, it fits. I'll get to this stack over here. National Geographic, I like their magazines. Nice cover of a Union soldier with the American flag. This is why I said I don't just collect Confederate stuff, because there's not enough stuff like this. And I intend to get a Union soldier uniform to go with that one. But this isn't just have Civil War stuff, so like it barely counts, but it counts enough to be in my little collection here. Next, I have this lovely thing. Might be wondering why the fuck is that there? It's because this was at a library that in a town I used to live in, and unfortunately, they had this, but they were not even allowed to check it out anymore, and they also were not allowed to just hand it out anymore either. It is restricted to only being read in the library under research use only. So they let me, thankfully, copy every page, and then I kind of just threw this together, and I think it turned out pretty good. As it speaks for itself, it's war papers, and the reason why that's there is because they had to white out. They had to like write on it, and I wanted to not have that there because it looked dumb, but it made it look even worse because they put this white strip on it. But the only warning they told me to do that is I'm not allowed to sell this, which I would never fucking do. Because it would be plagiarism. I actually don't even have all the pages. There was one page I didn't get out just in case. But if I ever go back there, I'll be copying it, just slipping it in there just to have it. But it's nice to have, and it looks good besides that shit, and this is taped together. I might, what I basically did was I took all the pages, stapled them together, and then I took a vanilla folder, you can see it there, and I glued this page there, and this page there, and then stapled it all and taped it to make it look a little bit better. It ain't perfect, but for what it is, I like it. And I got this for free at a thrift store I go to in a different town that I live in. It was pretty nice of her. It was where I got a purchase of something I will have to show you separately because it is too big to really move around all willy-nilly. I've tried it before for a photo shoot of everything I have, and it just everything I have now it's too much to have in one fucking photo now. I can barely fit all this shit in one area, as you can see. Next I have one of these. This reminds me of something you used to find in school, where they just have like little random facts in there showing Union and Confederate. Interesting, they show you different uniforms, different tactics, important people, before and after things, what they look like. You can get a better shot of what the Confederacy seal looks like, and I actually hope to add that specific thing to my collection one day. But yeah, then the reason why I held off on showing that thing, all that stuff earlier, is because this actually all goes together. This, that thing right there, and this are all in one gigantic thing. Actually has a bunch more shit I don't have. But this one is letters from the war. You can read letters that were passing forth, I think, from both sides. I have some art in there too, and some real pictures. And then this one is it's not it's a CD, but what it basically is, it's like a oh no, this is the wrong one, but yeah, this one is the CD. I got the other one mixed up. And then this one has more letters. And then this is just a gigantic book. It's actually a lot bigger than this thin one here. Yeah. A lot of stuff you can just like read and learn more about the Civil War. And I thought that one right there was actually this one. This is basically what we know now as a PDF file, but it's on the but it's on this disc. It's basically just that on a disc, which is why you see the same artwork. But yeah, that's about all my collection. I just have one more thing to show you. This is the last thing I have of all my Confederate stuff. You can read it for yourself. This is actually a painting. It cost me, this is probably the most expensive thing I have in my collection too, by the way. It cost me nearly $80, but it was worth it. The wood is really good. The painting is amazing. And it has a nice glass protecting the artwork. And sorry about the shaky cam, you just have to get used to it, you know. Motion sickness never hurt anyone, except for the people who've got, you know, epilepsy, but I don't know why you'd be watching this video anyway. Bright lights hurt you. Not to insult the impaired, but, you know, I'm a white male, so no matter what I do, I'm evil. The rest of these flags, I started in a certain order, or at least I'm going to, depending on how I've edited this. But I wanted to make this one first. And the reason being is because this is actually the first Confederate flag I've ever had any sort of interaction with. See, my mom owns a flag exactly like this one. It's older though, and she let me use it for like the longest time, and then when I got this one, I gave that one back, so she actually has that one, and then I have this newer one. But yeah, that's the reason why this one holds a lot of value to me, is because it's my first Confederate flag. This is the Bonnie Blue flag. As you can see, it is just a blue field with a white star on it. This is actually pretty unique, because this did not even start out as a Confederate flag. In fact, it started out as a Louisiana flag when the Louisiana Purchase happened, and they had to, like, had a little debacle over a little set of land. So they used this flag until it was purchased again for the Union, and then when the South first seceded, they started using this flag until they had an official flag. So it wasn't in use for very long, but it is a Confederate flag. This is the first national Confederate flag. And when I say first, I mean it's the first rendition of the first national flag. As you can see, it only has 7 stars for the first 7 states that seceded. They actually had this one the longest, up to 3 years, until 1863. And the reason why is because there was so much confusion when on the battlefield there was so much smoke, and people's eyes weren't the greatest. especially during battle, that people kept confusing this with the American flag. But it got up to all the way to 13 stars before they realized, oh shit, it looks too much like the Confederate, I mean, not the Confederate flag, but it looks too much like the American flag. So they changed it. And just to clarify, this is called the Stars and Bars, not the later flags, which I will show you. And they're called so much today, I can't tell you how much of a pet peeve it is for me to hear whenever someone calls the other flags the Stars and Bars. It's like, why do you even say things? And yes, even Southerners will get it wrong and call them that, and it's so fucking retarded. And I don't care if you get offended by my use of the word retarded. Get over it. Out of all the Confederate flags, this one is actually my least favorite. Not only because of its name, which is called the Stainless Banner, and is also referred to as the quote-unquote white man's flag. So out of all the Confederate flags, this one is probably the most racist. If there was a thing where cloth can be racist. But this one was meant to be used as a white man's flag, which is utterly ridiculous. But, other than that, it's fucking boring. Whoever came up with the design like this, I hope, this was the only thing he ever designed. And I'm glad we didn't use this for very long. And the reason why the South didn't use this for very long should be obvious. When the flag ain't blowing around in the wind, or even sometimes what it is, it looks like a fucking surrender flag. I don't know who came up with this, but they're fucking dumb. The only reason why I even have it is just to complete my flag collection for the South, and I'm glad to say I'm done collecting for Southern flags, but my god, if this can get any more boring, I don't think it can. Now, this was the first Confederate flag I ever got on my own that was a national flag. And as you can see, it's similar to the Stainless Banner, but this one is called Bloodstained, because of the blood, the red bar they added to it. This one isn't as bad, but it's still, I don't know, it could have more to it. But as you can see, they squarified the battle flag there, made it more like General Lee's flag. Still have the white banner, but like I said, with a little red bar at the end of it. This one is like the least impactful, only because it lasted like a few months before the war even fucking ended. I think people are still using the Stainless Banner, which they used for 2 fucking years. Again, I don't even know how that design got passed, but this was the last one. This was the last national flag before they surrendered. This is just one of the Confederate battle flags. This one was used by General Lee and his regiment from Virginia. As you can see, it is a square shaped. This is actually one of the things that was actually supposed to be like a candidate to be a national flag, but they rejected it, and Lee saw that as an opportunity to go ahead and use it as his battle flag. Because, like I said before, for the first national flag, it was too confusing to use on the battlefield, so they used this one. Now, this one is almost the famous one everyone, or I should say infamous, that everyone seems to know about on this day, which I'll get to that one now. Now, you'll see I've got 2 of these, and I'll explain why in a minute. But there's a lot of confusion that this one was only used during the Civil Rights era, which is actually wrong. This one is actually the Tennessee Naval Jack. They basically just took Lee's flag, stretched it out, and then they used a lighter blue because they felt the darker blue was a Yankee color. I personally prefer the darker blue only because I like darker colors. But this is the one people use mostly today. This one has the darker blue. You can't really tell thanks to my camera light, but only because These two are actually made of different material. But yeah, this is the infamous flag. But the reason why I got both of these isn't just because there's technically a different flag. They look similar enough. But because if I ever fly one of these outside, I have to use this one. I can't use this one. Because this fucking thing right here. Yeah, when I lived with a family member, their cat did this shit. So, good job, Yankee Cat. You got one on me. But that's about all of my collection you've now seen. And I would like to end this video on a note that just because someone owns Confederate flags and Confederate memorabilia does not make them by default racist. A person needs to be like an actual racist towards peoples of different races. Owning a set of cloth makes a racist not. Or, I don't even know how to fucking say that in a more fucking poetic way. But just a cloth does not make a racist. I would need to, like, disparage a black person or an Asian person or just any race, and that would make me a racist. So any person who's just called me a racist in the comments, and any person who has actually watched this video the whole way through, you calling me a racist based on just cloth. You need action from me to prove I am a racist. This is make no one a racist. There's people who have used this for racist reasons, and I don't like that. The Ku Klux Klan, who use this, which by the way they don't even use it anymore. I'm ashamed that they've actually used this flag. Any fucking Nazis or pro-Nazis, but whatever the fuck you call them, that have used this flag, I don't like them either. They've used this flag for hate. I don't like any form of hatred or fucking racism, no matter what people use. And just to clarify, if you are offended by this flag, but you are not offended by a pirate flag, you are a massive hypocrite. Because they both have fucking dark history, both have genocide in them. And sure, yeah, the pirate flag doesn't have like a giant fucking thing of genocide behind it. There's still not a lot of good people that have used that flag. Just like there's a lot of not good people who have used this flag. The argument is also reversed. Some good people have used this flag, some good people have used the pirate flag. Both have their fans. Both have their flaws. But owning these does not make a person the way you think they are. Maybe get to know a person before you think of them in a certain way. Oh, and yes, I am wearing pajamas, because it's fucking 5 a.m. in the morning, and I should be sleeping, but I'm not. But I think this video is dragged on long enough. If you want to ask me any questions in the comment section, you're free to do so. I am all for freedom of the press and freedom of speech and all that. And if you think I'm a conservative, I've got a nice twist ending like a Shalamalama movie. I'm actually a liberal. I'm not like left, but I am like center left. And I guarantee you, I'm not the only liberal, quote unquote, that actually owns a Confederate flag. Oh, and also, I'm not religious. Just putting out there again for people who might be coming here with intent to defend me, saying I'm a Christian. I'm not. I mean, you're I thank you for defending me, but that's not actually not the reason. I will say this is actually this cross of St. Andrew's. Um, it's actually one of Jesus' disciples that supposedly was also crucified, but wanted the cross to be sideways because he didn't feel like he deserved to be on the same level as Jesus. But that's just going on if that actually happened. But that's the reason why this flag is designed the way it is. And while I appreciate the design, the story behind it I do feel is horseshit. But that's just my opinion. But you guys have a great fucking day.